What's up, my friends? Today I want to talk about a 6-8 build. Recently, 6-8 builds have been making some headlines in the 2K community. This guy by the name of Drilla in the Pro-Am scene has been rocking out with a 6-8 shooting guard. Insane build, so insane that Koza came out of the darkness to drop a video after a month of not dropping, and this 6-8 is pretty crazy as well. So if you guys want to go check those out, go check those out. You guys know Koza. Look up Drilla on Twitter. That's where his build's at over there. But I'm using this build as an inspiration, or using those builds, excuse me, as an inspiration for this one. At some point, I'm going to drop a Pro-Am gameplay of this 6-8 build in action. I didn't make this. Someone on our Pro-Am team did make this, and it is insane. The version that we made for it, I think, is very, very good. Is it the best shooting guard in the game? I don't know. That comes down to preference, but very hard to contest this build. Really easy to use this build offensively. Dribble and everything is a bit difficult, but you know, if you know what you're doing in 2K, I think you can kind of be good with any build. And at 6-8 with the contest this year, this build is kind of broken. So let's just go over what we did for this build. Physicals, as always, we're going to do first 88 speed, 88 agility. I think you end up with a 57 strength here. And then for the vertical, you're going to have a 67. Obviously, as we start making this build, it's going to make more and more sense, but I wanted to get this build out to you guys because I do think that you're going to start seeing a lot of taller builds. I recently posted gameplay of me on a 6-6 scoring 50 in rec, so if you haven't checked that build out, go check that out. That pretty much validates why making a 6-8 makes so much sense, because that 6-6 build is extremely hard to contest. So imagine 2 more inches, Pulver base, Oscar upper release 100%, it's going to be broken. So let's continue to make this. And another thing, use this build as a template. You know, you don't have to make this exact build, but you know, tune this build to your liking. Let's talk about the shooting first, and then I'll talk about cap breakers at the end of it. That's not shooting. 3-pointer, you're gonna have an 87.3 right here. Midi, you're gonna have a 91 on this build, and then free throw, we put 81. We have a higher free throw on this build because, you know, obviously we run this build the shooting guard in Pro-Am, so gotta have some free throw. Like I said, I'll talk about cap breakers eventually. You do miss out on limitless. You know, definitely stinks in my opinion, but you know, you got to make some sacrifices. Your toes need to be close to the line. You're 6'8", you know, you got to make some sacrifices. That's the sacrifice we make with this build. 87.3, you do miss out on limitless, but it is what it is. Mid-range at 91. I promise you it's going to make sense. Hopefully you stick around to the end of the video so you can hear what we do with our 8 cap breakers, but 91 midi is really, really good. It makes a lot of sense when we get into the thick of it. Let's go over our defense next. We're not going to spend a lot of time in the paint, so we're going to have a 54 interior. Perimeter, we're going to up all the way to a 92. Again, we'll talk about cap breakers with this as well. Steal is going to be lower. Steal is going to be at a 79. Your block is going to be a 68, so you can get that high flying denier on bronze. We're not going to touch the rebound. You have to have a 62 rebound. You have to have a 27-0 board. So that's why we have that the way we have that. But as you can see, your perimeter is insane. I think this year in NBA 2K25, more than any year before, height is crucial. I think that's why you're starting to see these bigger builds starting to really, you know, make an impact in NBA 2K25. Not saying that they haven't already, so don't kill me in the comments for saying that, but you're starting to see it in the competitive scene where guards are moving away from 6'2", 6'4", and leaning towards 6'6", 6'7", 6'8", just because the contests are so bad in NBA 2K25. So it makes a lot more sense to make a taller build now than ever. With, you know, they haven't touched contest. Obviously, I think once more people start making builds like this, they'll probably make contests so that we can, you know, buy more builds. But for the time being, like, the meta is slowly turning towards taller builds. Again, not saying that they haven't always been useful. Please don't attack me. But the defense is really, really good. Ball handling. I want to save the finishing for last because that's where I want to spend a lot of time talking. But it's a shooting guard. You know, the job of the shooting guard in Pro-Am, for our team at least, is to get buckets. So you're only going to have a 71 pass for that dimer on silver. 81 ball handle with a 75 speed with ball. Makes sense to have it this way, in my opinion. You know, being 6'8", you're you're gonna be amazed with how easy it is to shoot with this build. If you know how to shoot, if you understand like just ignoring contests and just kind of believing that 2K won't register a contest, you know, you're gonna get a lot of shots off on the catch and shoot. So you're not gonna be doing a ton of dribbling. At an 81 handle, you still get a Zach LaVine step back, Tyrese Halliburton hezzy. So that's all that really matters, really, at the end of the day. After that, you can maybe use like a Jimmy Butler escape. That's what I would do personally, I think, or Kevin Durant. That's what I use on my 6'6" with 81 ball handle. So that's what I would do. You have to sacrifice somewhere. It's gonna make a lot of sense why we have the dribbling so low once you see the finishing. So let's go into the finishing. You're not gonna touch close shot, layup, or post control. The dunk is gonna go up to an 80. You're gonna have access to that posterizer on bronze. That just gives you better animations for dunking in general. That badge popping up is the reason why you're gonna make more dunks. I think if you play this game a lot, you understand that you're gonna miss a lot of dunks for some reason. That posterizer helps for sure. Obviously, the Devin Booker dunk package I think is the best in the game. It's the cheapest one as well when you think about elite dunk packages. So having that at an 80, definitely worth it in my opinion. And then the standing dunk. This is kind of crazy, but we put the standing dunk at a 90. Shout out to TTM for hopping on 2K. We have it at a 90. As you can see with your tier 2, it doesn't really make sense to put on anything. You're not going to get immovable. You're not going to get any of these good tier 2 badges when it comes to strength. You know, you could put, do you really want to put on high flying denier and go from bronze to silver? I personally don't. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Defensively, you know, you don't have access to any of these things right here. Tier 1, obviously you're not going to do anything there. You already have off ball pest, Hall of Fame. Is it worth putting on legend? Maybe. I'm certainly not going to do it. But there's just not a lot of opportunity at the tier 2 level. Like Dimer, you're not a playmaker, you're a bucket getter. So you're going to have Hall of Fame rise up. You know, you're not going to get access to the elite contact dunks, which is unfortunate. Obviously, you have to be like 6'10" or something like that to get those. But you have a greater chance at getting dunk animations down low. You're going to get better animations dunking in general. So putting this rise up to Hall of Fame to me is broken, especially with when you're 6'8". You're going to have a smaller guard than you more times than not being at the shooting guard position. So, you know what I'm saying? You're going to be able to get glitchy, in my opinion. This is the route that we took. You could take a different route if you really want to, but this is the route that I would take, in my opinion. It's either that, you know, you could lower this like this. This is the other way to do it. Go 40 here and then go pass up to an 85 maybe. Then you can, but it just doesn't make sense to me. You're a bucket getter. Your job is to get buckets, shoot over people, and make dunks at a high level. Now, with cap breakers, it's pretty easy. Midi, you're going to go up to a 96. You're going to have your Deadeye, I believe, you're going to have Deadeye at Hall of Fame there. So that's really good there. You're going to get your set shot specialist Hall of Fame, and your shifty is going to be a Hall of Fame. So 5 there, 96 midi. If you guys know anything about my channel, I love midi this year, especially on tall builds. Michael Jordan dribble pull-up is the route that I would take with this build. Always. I understand Pro 2 in a lot of people's opinion is better, but I think Michael Jordan's better because you get off the ground really high. If you get off the ground really high and you're tall, you're really hard to contest. So you're gonna go the shifty route, put that on legendary. I would put set shot specialist on legendary because between these 3 badges, the biggest increase from Hall of Fame to legend is set shot. It's the biggest increase from Hall of Fame to legend. The difference between legend shifty and Hoff shifty, I don't notice a whole lot. The difference between Deadeye, Hall of Fame, and legend, I don't notice at all. But set shot, I definitely notice a difference. It's not massive, but it's a bigger difference than those. The other 3 cap breakers that we would use is 3 on perimeter. So you're gonna have Challenger at a 95, perimeter at a 95. So you're gonna be feeling really good. We're not gonna be able to get the, you know, this perimeter up any higher. If you really want to, you know, you could. I mean, you actually can't. So I almost just straight up lied. But But yeah, just not a ton that you can like do on defense when you're 6'8". Like 95 perimeter is actually like the highest it's gonna get unless you up your wingspan, I believe, and that just affects your steal. So not a ton of things that you're gonna be able to do there. So you might as well just put 3 there. And then moving forward, like if you hit vet 2, you know, I'm not really too sure where you would go, to be honest with you. Probably your ball handle, so that's easy. So once you hit vet 2, you'll be able to get to like an 85, 86 ball handle for sure. So that's insane. So if you hit vet 2, you're gonna get a 96 midi, 86 ball handle, and a 95 perimeter. Insane. Boys, I really do think that this is gonna be the meta. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this build. I think it's broken, not gonna lie to you. I think this is gonna start being the meta, and by meta I do mean you're gonna see it regularly. I can't say that enough, so don't attack me for that. But comment below what you think, leave a like. I appreciate the love as always. Subscribe if you're new. We're on the road to 2,000 subs. I really appreciate it, man. So I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye, peace, I love you.